As humans, we see the effects of social networking all around us, but it turns out that animals need social networking as well. For instance, female baboons who form strong bonds with other females have offspring that survive longer. In long-tailed manakins, juveniles who form strong connections with adult males achieve higher social status later in life. And in sharks, females who are better connected are better able to deal with social disturbances. In short, social networking matters. I've just given you a few examples about how social networking is important, but the reality is that we don't know much. My goal is to use fish to understand how individuals use social networks to gain benefits, and if individuals with increased social networks do better. You might ask, why fish? The reality is that many fish, especially cichlids, have extremely complex social systems. The species I study, Neolamprologus pulcher, is a cooperative breeder. That means that each group has one male and 1 to 2 females that reproduce and lay eggs. The rest of the group, up to 15 other individuals, help raise the offspring of the breeders. Eventually, these helpers become breeders by inheriting a territory or dispersing to a new group. These fish live in colonies, and because there are more groups in the center of the colony than on the edge, there are also more interactions. I want to examine how this may benefit both the dominant breeders and the subordinate helpers. Specifically, I think that male breeders in the center of the colony have more opportunities to mate with neighboring females. To test this, I'm going to collect fry, or baby fish, from groups on the edge and the center of the colony. I'm also going to collect a genetic sample from the males and females in that group, and in the neighboring groups, to figure out the parents of the offspring in each group, and if paternity is being exchanged more often in the center of the colony than on the edge. I'm also going to look at how subordinates can find new groups after being evicted from their own group. I'm going to temporarily remove individuals from their groups, which often causes the group to evict the helper when it is returned. I will then observe rates of eviction, how fast the evicted helper is able to find a new group, and the quality of the new group. Presumably, helpers in the center of the colony will be able to join a new group more easily. To be able to do this experiment, I need to observe these cichlids in their native environment. These cichlids live on the rocky bottom of Lake Tanganyika, which is in East Africa. Your contribution can help fund a 3-month field season to explore how social networking is interacting with colony formation in these cichlids. So why is my project important? Well, the composition of the social network, or who interacts with who, can influence how diseases are spread, how information is shared, what reproductive opportunities individuals have, what social status they achieve, and how they interact with their environment. It can also influence the social system itself, whether or not individuals are monogamous or polygynous, if they cooperate with each other, how groups are formed, or how individuals within those groups interact with each other. And finally, it can influence population dynamics, how groups are formed in relationship to each other, and how groups interact. But the purpose of this study is not to understand how social networking functions within the species, but rather to understand how group-living species use social networking to inform their individual decisions, and how these individual decisions drive patterns of behavior that influence the dynamics of the entire population.